Hi, I'm Ross Wise, founder of Train Wise Fitness, and today what I'm going to be showing you is an excellent core routine that I've created especially for endurance athletes and in particular runners and cyclists. One of the things I've found is that a majority of runners and cyclists out there, unless they're competing at the elite levels, they're not doing a whole lot of training and strength training for their core. Most of us tend to be what I would call a weekend warrior. We have a job, works from 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever it is. We come home, we quickly throw on some clothes, we get out, we hit the bike, we hit the run, just put the miles in. That way we can compete in our next event. And we fail to work on our core. Core is a very important aspect of the body. It's one of those things that's going to help us become a faster, stronger, better athlete. It's also going to help us to remain more or less injury-free. Of course, nothing's ever 100%, but the more that you keep that core trained and that core strengthened, you're going to find that you run less risk of injury with each of the activities, and especially as you start building up the mileage. One of the things to note about the core is a lot of people just assume that the abdominals are your core muscles, and that's not entirely true. The abdominals are part of the core, and they're a big part of the core, but you've also got other muscles such as your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your quadratus lumborum, and a lot of your lumbar paraspinal muscles. All those muscles attached to the pelvis allow us to function and move. And if those aren't strong, we're not going to be performing in our tip-top shape. So today, this routine, like I said, is designed to work on all those hip muscles, low back muscles, all of these other things, and the abs as well. Just a couple of things that you may need for this. You're going to want some form of a timer. You can either use your kitchen timer function on your smartphone, cell phone, whatever it is, or if you've got a watch, again, feel free just to use those. I've also got just a couple of pieces of equipment that I like to use. One being a 36-inch foam roller. So this is not only good for rolling out our muscles after we've had a long training session, but it's great for a couple other exercises, and one in particular I'm going to be showing you today. This right here is an invaluable tool and one of my favorite pieces in my toolbox. This is just a nice resistance band. Has a couple of nice padded handles on it. This is an invaluable piece of equipment for runners and cyclists especially. The best part about this is things lightweight, folds up, travels well, so you can throw it in the bag, throw it in the car, take it to the office, take it on vacation. It's got a multitude of exercises you can do, and in particular one of the exercises we'll be doing today uses this as well. Alright, so let's begin. What I'm going to be showing you first today is a series of planks. We're going to be moving from a front plank into a side plank on both sides. This is going to be a great exercise. Planks are wonderful for strengthening up the shoulders, the abdominals, the low back, quadriceps. This is a great full body exercise. So we're going to start with a front plank. I want you in that nice plank position. Notice that my shoulders are directly over my elbows. My butt's not up in the air. And it's not sagging down here. Nice and level. I've got my pelvis rotated towards my heels, almost like I'm going to stretch those calf muscles while I'm doing this. So we're going to be doing this for 30 seconds. So you'll be up here, again, making sure that you're nice and straight. You don't want to be sagging down. If you feel inclined, you can add a leg lift to this if this is too easy for you. Or if you need to modify it for some of our beginners, you can go and do this from the knees. You're still going to be engaging all those same muscles, you're just not creating as long a lever arm on the body. So as the timer goes off, I like to go ahead and roll into my side plank. To do that, I'm going to rotate my left arm as I come towards the camera here, and I'm going to pretend that I've got a rod that attaches my rib cage and my pelvis together. So everything's going to move as one unit. I'm going to go ahead and come on up into the side plank. Now a lot of folks may not be able to do that, so it's okay if you need to come down and rest and then come into your side planking position. Of course, if you find the side plank too easy, you can always add the leg lift. With the hold, you can do some leg lifts, or you can even add a little crunch with this, okay? Again, you want to make sure that your shoulder is directly over the elbow. If you're out here like this, you're going to put a lot of strain on that rotator cuff. Don't want to do that. Okay. We're going to be rolling to the other side. So similar thing, I'm going to bring my arm down, rib cage, pelvis, one unit. Back up to the other side here. Reaching up as much as I can with this arm. Everything's nice and straight. Again, if you want to add that leg lift or the leg lift and hold, it's entirely up to you. And again, we're going to hold that for 30 seconds. Okay. For those of you that find the side plank difficult, I'm going to show you the modified version that you can do. You want to make sure that you're staying straight right through the body, that you're not curving down here. Again, shoulder over your elbows. The only difference between this side plank and the one I was doing is you're going to have a bend in your hips and knees. So what you want to do is you want to drive your weight up onto your knees and bring those hips forward, arm up. Same exact thing, just takes out that long lever arm, makes this a little bit easier for some of our beginners. So that's your plank series. You're going to do 3 sets of that. 30 seconds on a front plank, 30 seconds on a side plank, 30 seconds on the opposite side plank. Again, you're going to be doing that for 3 sets. So it's a tough exercise. If you need to take a little rest in between each set, feel free, go right ahead. The next exercise we're going to be doing is a reverse plank. This is going to be the final one in our plank series. This is a very tough exercise, but for those of you that are familiar with yoga or Pilates, you'll recognize this as well. With these reverse planks here, really work on everything from the shoulders all the way down to the heels. The important thing to remember with these is that you want to make sure that your fingertips are pointing towards your toes at all time, and that you're not engaging a lot of your neck muscles. So again, 30 seconds here. You're going to be driving up right onto those heels, squeezing those glutes. So again, like I said, you're working everything from the shoulders all the way down to the back of the legs, engaging those hamstrings, those glutes, all those lumbar paraspinal muscles, rhomboids up in the shoulders. You're welcome to hold your head back. I like mine just about a fist width from my chest. I find this a little bit easier for me. Again, if you find this a little easy, feel free to add a leg lift on either side. Okay? Again, you're going to be doing 3 sets of that for 30 seconds each. So again, a fairly tough exercise. Next exercise we're going to be doing is going to involve you lying on your back. This is going to be a single leg bridge. So again, those of you familiar with yoga and Pilates will recognize this movement. I do have a slight difference in the way I prefer to do mine. A lot of stuff in yoga and Pilates teaches us to roll that spine on up. We're not going to be rolling that spine with this. I want you to think about, again, a rod attaching your pelvis and your rib cage together. So everything comes up as one solid unit. Okay? Up and down. So we're going to go up into this single leg bridge, holding with one leg up. Again, everything should be nice and straight as you're coming through. The leg in the air only needs to be as high as the knee that's bent. Big thing is you want to make sure that your pelvis isn't dropping out here, so you're not having to cross over here to maintain your balance. Hands can go anywhere they want. If they want them here, 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 not a problem. Again, holding for 30 seconds. If you find this easy, you can add a leg lift. Again, just making sure that pelvis stays nice and level. We're going to go ahead and switch to the other side after our 30 seconds. Again, if you like, add a leg lift. Or for an added challenge, you can take that leg out to the side here. So what you're doing is you're really creating more of a rotational force for your body to fight against to maintain that pelvis at level when that leg comes out to here. Again, whatever you choose, just remember that you're going to stay in a nice straight line, and you're going to be holding this for 30 seconds. That one also, you're going to be doing 3 sets on for 30 seconds each. Feel free to take a rest in between if you need to. You are going to feel that in the glutes and those hamstrings as well. Great exercise, but also very tough when done properly. The next exercise I'm going to be showing you is going to be one of the ones that I'm not going to time. We're actually going to count repetitions on this one. These are just some straight leg raises. Nothing big, nothing too difficult. Again, we're gonna be doing 25 on each leg, and we're gonna be doing 2 sets of that. Key thing here is to make sure that you're gonna keep that toe pointed up, and you're bringing your leg up nice and slow. So we're gonna do 25, coming up just to about the height of our opposite knee. Nice and slow. We're not flying through this. Not going to get a whole lot out of that exercise. I want you to have that control. We'll do 25 on the right leg, 25 on the left leg. And again, we're going to do 2 sets of that, so we're going to do 50 on each leg total. After that, I like to go ahead and roll over and do these side leg lifts. We're working in on this glute med. Very important stabilizing muscle when we're running and walking. One that's often very weak in a lot of people and also can lead to some plantar fasciitis symptoms, some knee stuff, even some low back stuff. So it's a very, very important muscle, even though it's a small muscle in the body. So, toe pointing down, heel coming up to the sky. Again, we're going to do 25 on each side, and we're going to do 2 sets of that. So a total of 50 on each leg. All right, so you get through with your 25, you're going to flip over. Coming to the other side again, toe pointed down. I like this knee bent under me. That's my personal preference. If you're comfortable out straight, that's fine too. We do that and then move back to the side we started on again. Next exercise, again, if you're familiar with yoga and Pilates, is going to be one called the dead bug. This is a great abdominal exercise. Helps to fight against a lot of unnecessary rotation. Especially when we run, we have that arm swing, and if we're swinging arms too much, we can generate a lot of rotation. That's only going to rob us of our performance and not allow us to move in a straight line as efficiently as we could. So in order to do this, again, you're on your back, knees bent. I want you to engage those abdominals. When I talk about engaging the abdominals, I'm not saying suck them in. I want you to think like you're going to blow them out a little bit. Almost as if someone were to come in and poke you in the ribs or punch you in the stomach. We kind of tighten up and really protect ourselves from that. This is an exercise that's going to be done for 2 minutes. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to show you the basic ground movement and then the advancement as well. So on your back, arms straight up at shoulder height. I want you to tighten up those abdominals there. We're going to bring our opposite hands, going to touch our opposite knee. When we make that connection, we're going to hold for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to switch sides. Again, holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is going to help further engage those oblique muscles. Also going to help engage a little bit of our hip flexors as well. Making the exercise a little bit more effective by creating that isometric contraction there. Again, going back and forth, just holding for a count of 5. Again, this is going to be done for 2 minutes. Okay? You can do that exercise anywhere. Of course, if you need to, if you happen to have a foam roller, you can feel free to run out and get one in your sporting goods store. They're not terribly expensive, but this is great. This is a 6-inch foam roller, 36 inches long, so it's really going to support us as we do this. So the advancement is to do this on the foam roller. So you want to make sure that you're fully supported, head to tail. Again, tightening up those abdominals. Going to bring in, holding for that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to switch. We're going to go to the other side there. Again, holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Notice we're not flying through this. We're moving nice and purposeful. It's going to be a very tough exercise. If you let this one go, you will roll off of here. So if you're not keeping those abdominals tight like I just didn't, you'll find that as you go through this, you end up rolling. You're going to roll right off of that. Our final exercise that we're going to be doing is another wonderful, excellent abdominal exercise to really key in on all those abdominals. A lot of us like to do a lot of sit-ups and crunches, thinking those are going to be the best thing for us. I like to use a modified version of the crunch. find it's a lot more effective, puts a lot less strain on the back as well. And you'll find that it really tires you out, and it's a very different exercise. So this is what's considered a back safe crunch. It's also called a McGill crunch for those of you that want to go and look that up. That's Stuart McGill. He's a excellent back specialist. Okay, so to do this, you start with one leg bent, one leg straight. This one we're going to time for just a minute. Don't have to engage those abdominals. Fingertips are going to slide right under the small of your back. This is to keep you from trying to round out your back. That way you can feel that added pressure on your hands. So, we start our timer for a minute. I want you to pretend that you have a rod running right through your chest, right about your nipple line. And that's going to kind of be your axis of rotation here. So, we're coming up. Notice I'm only coming up far enough just to get my shoulders off the ground. I'm not coming all the way up into that full sit-up position. But what I am doing is I'm engaging all of those abdominals as I come up to do this crunch. Alright, as far as your head position goes, you can hold it way on back and look at something far behind you. Or you can hold it just a little bit more tucked. Whatever you find that doesn't engage your neck muscles as much. So, we're going to do this for a minute with each leg straight. After a minute, we flip, move to the other side. And again, the same thing. Now you can do this with the same leg bent. It doesn't really matter. You're not gaining any mechanical advantage by doing it with one leg over the other, and you're not strengthening one side more than the other. I just like to switch out my legs. It just gives me some way to know that I'm on the other set. If you need a little bit of advancement for this, you can keep the elbows off the ground. Make it a little bit more, a little bit harder. Okay, and again, we're going to be doing that for a minute with each leg straight. So you're doing this for a total of 2 minutes. Curl, for our final exercise on the mat, we're going to be doing one called the bird dog. Very important back stabilizer. Again, working on the abdominals, a little bit of shoulder work in there as well. Also going to work on engaging those glutes. Again, if you're familiar with yoga or Pilates, you've seen this before. It's not going to be new to you. I do have a little bit of advancement that I'm going to be showing you today. One that I really like a lot and find it very challenging. So this one too, we're going to time this for a minute. So you're going to want to set your timer for a minute. We're going to be doing this on both sides. Again, I'm not going to go through the entire thing. I'm just going to show you a few times on each side and a couple of advancements on the exercise as well. So for your starting position, you want to make sure that your back is nice and neutral, okay? You're not curved up here. You're not really sagging down here. You're just nice and relaxed through the back. You want to make sure your hips are lined up directly over your knees. Shoulders are going to be directly over your hands. Again, we're going to tighten up our abdominals as we go through this. We're going to extend that opposite arm, opposite leg. You should have a nice straight frame. Also, your pelvis should be level so you're not having to shift your weight to one side. You're not dropping your pelvis over here, but you're nice and engaged. So what we're going to do, we're going to extend the opposite arm, opposite leg. We're going to come in underneath. We're going to sweep. We're going to touch, and we're going to go back out. Again, this is one we're going to do on a minute on each side. Again, focus on being nice and level. Timer goes off. We're going to switch to the other side. Again, performing that same sweeping motion. Should also be nice and straight with this side as well. You may find that you have one side that's a little bit more difficult to do than the other, and that's okay. We want to work on those imbalances so that we're a better athlete. You find this gets too easy, you can always up your time, or you can go in for the full advancement, which is going to put you in that full plank position. And you can do the same thing. Again, making sure that you're not rotating. You can see how difficult this is. Nice straight line. Glutes engaged. And so that's it for the exercise we're going to be doing on the mat here. The next three we're going to be doing in standing. Okay, so I hope you guys really enjoy those. We're going to be doing in standing. There's going to be some wonderful exercises going to work on the hamstrings, We'll be working on our glutes a little bit, some quads. I've also got a great exercise going to really work on that glute med muscle. Again, very important muscle when we're going through our gait cycle, especially for running and cycling. It helps keep us balanced. Also help us to generate some power as well. First exercise I like is the single leg deadlift. Okay, many of you familiar with CrossFit will have seen this before. I like to do this with a lot of body weight exercise. I'm not a big fan of putting on a lot of weights because I'm not moving weights when I'm running, I'm moving my body. So, in order to do that single leg deadlift, let me throw some stuff out of the way here. Only problem with having an outdoor gym is you've already got something going on in the way. Okay, so we're going to stand on one leg, engaging that glute. Everything's going to be nice and straight here. We're going to be coming forward, and you're going to have a nice straight line from your shoulder all the way through. Pelvis is going to be nice and level. We're going to come all the way up. We're doing 3 sets of 15 here. So I want to make sure that you're nice and straight. You shouldn't end up like this. You don't want to end up cattywampus like this. Everything nice and level. So we'll do 15 here. We're going to do 15 on the other leg. And coming down. And everything nice and level, nice and straight. If you find this gets a little bit easier, you can add a little running motion by bringing that knee up. And you can drive on down. Again, we're going to be doing 3 sets of 15 on each leg. It's going to be a total of 45 of those on each leg. Next exercise is going to use our wonderful resistance band. Again, this one's really going to focus on your glute med. Also working on the glutes, other glute muscles as well. So, that strap's going to kind of set in underneath your foot, right about the ball of your foot. You want to spread your feet about shoulder width apart. And you should have equal tension on these handlebars, okay? I'm going to show you what this looks like from the side. I want you to a little bit of a mini squat here, okay? So your rear end's driving backwards, a lot of weight on your heels. So, I'm going to be working a little bit of shoulder posture too, because I'm going to have you cross the handles. So what makes this called an X-band walk. Driving up, setting our shoulders down and back. So from the side, this is what you're going to look like. Okay. This one again is also done in sets of 15. So we're going to be doing 15 steps to each side. And then we're going to pause, and we're going to do another set of 15 to each side again for a total of 3 sets. So, you're going to step out, keeping that tension on the band, shoulders down and back. We're going to go 15 to the right, coming back 15 to the left. Just like that. This is where band selection becomes very, very important. You don't want to pick a band that's too heavy, it's going to create too much resistance, and you don't want one that's too light that gives you no resistance at all. Otherwise, the exercise won't be as effective. But again, 3 sets of 15 steps in each direction. Total 45 steps in each direction with these. Final exercise is timed. So one of my personal favorites. A lot of places like to use a Superman to help strengthen those back muscles. We all know what that looks like. You got both legs back, arms up in the air while you're lying on your stomach. To me, that's a very poorly designed exercise. I found that it puts a lot of pressure on your spine. It puts around 6,000 newtons of pressure, and just to give you a little perspective on that, OSHA safety standards in the workplace recommend only about 3,200 3,200 newtons of pressure on your spine. So you're doing an exercise to strengthen your back muscles. That's really putting double what OSHA considers a safe load. And so I just find it's a very poorly designed exercise. One that I like in its place is called the Founder. So this one's done in standing. If you're familiar with yoga, you've probably seen this before. We're going to be doing this. There's 2 parts to the exercise, both of them done for 30 seconds each. We're going to be moving through 3 sets of this as well. So with this Founder, you want to drive your hips back, bringing your arms back here, which is going to really engage all those back muscles. Okay? You're also working on your glutes, quads, hamstrings with this. And by this point in time in the exercise, you're going to find this is a really hard one to do. We're going to be holding this for 30 seconds. I want you to really drive those arms back as far as you can. One of the big things you want to make sure that you do is you've got your weight on your heels. You don't want it too far forward where your knees are coming forward over your toes. You should be able to look down and see your toes at any point in time. If you can't, you're not doing the exercise properly and you're going to add further injury to your knees. So when our timer comes off, we're going to stand up. I want you to take a nice deep breath in. Arms are going to come up by the ears, squeezing as close to the head as they can. You're going to settle into a deeper squat, really driving those thumbs back. Okay? Again, same thing goes here. Don't want your knees too far forward. Want to make sure that you're nice and back on your heels. Into that nice deep squat. This one you're really going to start feeling burn in those quads. You're also going to feel it engaging everything down, all the way down the back. It's a wonderful, wonderful exercise. But again, you're going to be fatigued at this point in time in the series. After that second 30 seconds goes off, take a little break, shake it off, and you're going to repeat that 2 more times. So you're going to do a total of 3 sets of that founder. Okay, how was that? It's tough, wasn't it? I'm even sweating a little bit just even doing that, and I didn't even do the full routine. Of course, it's also a beautiful, humid spring day here in Georgia, so that may contribute a little bit to it, but that is a tough routine. And it's okay if it's tough the first couple times you do it. It's designed to be. It's designed to really work on a lot of muscles that we don't strengthen, a lot of very important muscles that are going to help make us a happier, healthier athlete, and a lot of muscles that if we keep strong will help lead to less and less injuries in us when we're out there training. A lot less frustration for us too. Everyone knows what it's like to be sidelined with an injury, and it is no fun. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's an exercise routine you can do 2 times a week if you want. Add it into your routine. I highly recommend it. I think you're going to find that you'll be a lot stronger, faster runner, a lot more effective cyclist, and out there and enjoying the sports that you love a whole lot more. Now, of course, remember, feel free to leave any comments in the comment section below, or any questions at all. I'd love to get back and discuss things with you guys. And of course, remember to train harder, train smarter, and train wise.